Hi, I'm David Bell. The Effective Church Leaders course uses a series of 12 videos. I show you one key concept per video that unpacks the richness of the term koinonia cluster as a way of belonging to a church. Tonight we look at inclusivity. A number of years ago, the National Church Life Surveys identified inclusion as one of the key factors in a healthy congregation. Effective church leaders will always use inclusivity. It's a way of incorporating seekers and newcomers into existing groups and structures. When, however, leaders fail to understand the power of inclusivity, inevitably the congregational life and witness will fail. We need to prevent that. How? It's easy to see a congregation that's filled with life in abundance. There are three signs that St. Paul spoke about: faith, hope, and love. The faith-filled congregation is obvious in its commitment to place the message of Jesus at the centre. The hope-filled congregation is essentially positive and realistic. Every situation presents an opportunity to bring hope or to deny it. The love-filled congregation is marked by an attitude of inclusivity, the power of what Charles Wesley called unbounded love. There's a New Testament word for this unbounded love. This word, in fact, is the most important word in the New Testament. It is agape. Besides agape, there are a variety of other words for love in the Greek language. C.S. Lewis wrote a brilliant introduction to the four main words for love used in the New Testament period, the four loves. These Greek words are agape, eros, philia, and storge. Let's look at what they mean. Eros is the word mostly used for physical love and passion. It's the origin of the English word erotica. In biblical times, eros was widely regarded as a love of beauty as well as expressing itself in sensual delights. Interestingly, the word eros does not appear in the New Testament at all. Then there's philia, which is a love expressing itself as deep affection. Members of a family may have for one another, or the closest ties of friendship may have philia at the heart. Sometimes in classical Greek it describes the love between husband and wife. It's used a few times in the New Testament. Philia is a quality of love that loves the things about. Storge, on the other hand, says Lewis, is the love which expresses itself as natural affection. Storge is a motive love which has both strengths and limitations. C.S. Lewis noted that storge was a word that also could be used of that strong bond that exists, for example, between a dog and its master or a horse and its rider. Agape is the impulse of Christian love. This word agape in many respects carries the whole gospel. It's the foundation of the whole New Testament witness. Agape is the love of God. This is the kind of love which unreservedly forgives sinners, loves the enemy without reservation. Agape occupies the whole heart and mind, body and strength of an individual. It's about directing life itself to love God and to love one's neighbour as oneself. Shema, called prayer of ancient Israel, was, "Hear, O Israel. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and mind, soul and strength." Jesus extends this by turning it to radical inclusiveness. In addition to the Shema was the second commandment, love directed to one's neighbours as to oneself. Then in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus also extends the two commands to include the enemy, the unlovable. Agape is the word of the New Testament that covers this radical love. But it's not just a word. It's the generator, the strange attractor, to borrow a phrase from modern physics. It creates a new world, a new universe, an entirely new value structure for human response. Obviously, agape is not the easiest love in the world to demonstrate. Eros, philia and storge are found in every person to a greater or lesser extent, but agape, the Christian love of and the Christian love in the New Testament, is not so natural. It requires willpower, but we're given God's grace to achieve it. It requires extraordinary effort, but we're given resources of strength, tenacity and courage to see it through. William Buckley from a previous age wrote, quote, "The great reason why Christian thought fastened on agape is that agape demands the exercise of the whole man. Christian love must extend not only to our nearest and dearest, our kith and our kin, our friends and those who love us. Christian love must extend to the Christian fellowship, to the neighbour, to the enemy, to all the world." Unquote. Another writer before Buckley, C.F.D. Moule, also highlighted the fact that something unique and unexpected was forged. In the emerging language of Christianity, he said, quote, "Agape is not a virtue, among other virtues, so much as a totally new impulse, divinely implanted. It is God's love for us in Christ, reflected and responded to." Unquote. So there you have it in a nutshell. You create inclusivity by demonstrating agape. Not easy, but it is realistic. The less inclusive the group, congregation or church, the less agape is being shown. Agape forms the framework to growth to inclusivity. And inclusivity is part of that rich fellowship of belonging, the koinonia group. Join me next week as we look at innovation and leadership. And thanks for watching.